G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to have a serious but at the same time productive discussion about the grinding in War Thunder. Back in, I think it might have been January, the European Canadian released a video that's basically said that it has been easier to grind since, well, forever. This is apparently the easiest time to grind out vehicles, and in some cases he's quite right. But in a couple of other cases, if you think about it, it's not really as clear-cut as you might think. The average cost for getting to top tier is, for a single nation, quite low. It is very easy to get to jets, and it is definitely, with obviously premium time and a bit of work and effort, enough to get to top tier for tanks as well. The problem arises when you factor in every single nation that War Thunder has. War Thunder has, over the last year, added several hundred vehicles to the list of grindable vehicles. Not only that, but every 3 months War Thunder has an event which you can grind out as well for 4, 5, sometimes even less rare vehicles. Some of them premiums, some of them not. Some of these events can be quite frustrating. Some of them are, soul-breaking, to say the least. And this tends to take a lot out of the player base. Every day, the grind never stops. So, what is Gaijin to do about this problem? And as a player base, what are we to do about this problem? The first solution is pretty obvious, and that's throw your money at the wall. But I know plenty of people, myself included, that have neither the soul nor the guts to drop several $1,000s on a single game. I don't see it as feasible to just pay your way to buying a premium for every single tech tree for every single tree itself. Can you think about every nation in the game? Every last one, from Great Britain to the United States, all the way down to Sweden. There's, 8, 9 nations in the game? And then there's a tank tree and an air tree for every single nation. And most nations are going to be getting a helicopter tree and a ship tree. Now, I know a lot of people who are like, well, I just play ARB, so I, don't really have that kind of problem. Well, good on you. What if you want to play the entire game? And I think someone who dedicates a few thousand hours to the game should be able to play almost everything. I think, for me, that would be the best solution. And just by increasing the grind to everything, I think that is kind of unfair. It also is a bit unfair to those that really, really like their low-tier stuff. For example, I know plenty of people that just don't really care about top tier. In fact, the European Canadian is one of them. By the way, I really like the European Canadian. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a well-thought person. And if you give a couple of minutes to just sort of slowly take in what he has to say, I think it is, in some cases and in most cases, quite reasonable. There are some overlooks, of course, and that's only because people are human. And I definitely don't want anyone, as a result of this video, throwing shit on Tech, because he's a pretty good guy. Hear him out. Have a listen, and maybe you might learn something new. That's a really good philosophy to have. Regardless, I do think that there are some issues with the grind that need to be addressed. A lot of players, especially those that come from poorer countries, simply don't have the money to afford premiums. And there are some people that simply don't have the time to put in everything into the game. And I completely understand. Despite it being a free-to-play model, it almost feels like you have to put money into the game. And that's more a question about free-to-play titles. Should you be obligated, as someone who has played free-to-play, should you be obligated to put money into the game to essentially play the top? I don't really know the answer to this question. I've been thinking of it for a very long time, but it is really, really subjective, and there's really not a clear-cut answer. Perhaps someone can do a video essay on it, or perhaps someone can link me a video essay that's already been done. I know there are plenty of really good people that do lots of interesting sort of essay type videos out there. And one of those particular ones, regarding War Thunder at least, is the Scottish Koala. Now, I have mentioned the Scottish Koala before. I really find Koala's perspectives on War Thunder quite interesting, and I think that he has a very valid point. In his particular video on the grind problem, he mentions a little tactic that I think is really smart. Gaijin should folder most of the tanks in the game, and what this will do is this will reduce the number of vehicles that people need to grind to get to top tier. For me, I really like that idea. I think combining it with a couple of other things would make it really great. One of those things that you could combine it with would be an exponential curve. Now, for those of you who don't know how an exponential curve works, basically it's something that starts off really tiny and then gets absolutely massive. So in this case, we're going to apply it to the grind, where it does face some sort of exponential curve. Although, for me, I think that the exponential part should be increased. Now, this doesn't mean the increase of RP at the top end as a sort of net amount. What this means is essentially at low tiers, it is super easy to breeze through everything. You'll get to tier 4 without breaking a sweat. You'll be able to experience all your World War II stuff, and you'll probably stay for it because it is some of the best gameplay in the entire game. In terms of it's just fleshed out, it's well made, it's well balanced. Most of the maps suit this type of gameplay. And at top tier, it doesn't really work out that way. And so I guess you could fill in that sort of gap with a bit of grind. This might upset people that do like that top tier and really want to get to that top tier, and it might make them feel like they've hit a wall. So one of the things that I suggest that Gaijin should use to help out is the Warbond shop. Now you might be thinking, what's this absolute crackhead got thinking up in his, 2 IQ brain? But hear me out. I think you should be able to obtain rank 4 vehicles on the Warbond shop. If you put in a month worth of effort into the game, you should be able to reap that reward. Rank 4 isn't really that big a deal. It's not Gaijin's moneymaker anymore. That is rank 5 and 6. So if Gaijin did that to rank 5, to rank 4, can you imagine the amount of people that would be able to get themselves a T29, an STR-V81, or something of that magnitude? They don't even have to be the ones that are in the gift shop. They could just be some old stuff, Revenge of the Hero Brother, the IS-2. You could have, a copy-paste Centurion. Perhaps you could have the Australian Mark V Centurion. I would definitely go for that in a Warbonds, not just because I'm Australian, not just because it's a British tank, and not just because it's Centurion, but I genuinely think it would be cool to have another 6.7 premium. No, I'm only kidding, of course. I think it would be a great addition. They could literally just be copy-pastes. They could be the T30 that you can buy on the market. It could be anything that you really want. And for me, that's the beauty of having these. You could put it as copy-paste, and I genuinely don't think the player base would mind, because it's a premium vehicle. For me, the Warbond shop is a perfect way to do this because it awards and generally satisfies players that put effort into the game with something more than a rank 1. For me, it's a bit of a letdown to get just a rank 1 from an entire month of work. I understand that maybe 3 years ago, that was a big deal, because you could almost grind to, your rank 4s with so much ease if you had one of those premiums from the Warbond shop. And it's fantastic. It still is pretty fantastic. For me, I think this should maybe occur once or twice a year. And for me, that would be enough. That would help the players get to this sort of top area. The final thing I would like to suggest is the ability to buy premium through the Warbond shop. This is very similar to the way RuneScape currently does it, and I think that this would be a really cool solution. To buy these Warbonds, you would have to do an absolute metric shit ton of work, and you might even have to forego getting one of the rank 4 premiums or something similar. However, once you do get this this war bond ticket, say, it would be premium time for a week, so as not to completely drain Gaijin's supply of people buying premium. Remember, this is a two-party process. You can't just go and give the player base free shit, because then Gaijin won't make money, and as a result, they just won't give a fuck. They give shits when people put the time in to play and use their servers, and when people spend money. So, by rewarding the player base for putting time in and filling the servers, you get a week of premium. For maybe it's a month of grinding, maybe it's 3 weeks of grinding. For me, I think that that's quite reasonable. However, these tickets need to be able to be reused whenever. You can activate them whenever you'd like, and you will get premium time for a week. So, you can stockpile 12 weeks of premium. And then you would have to buy the other 30. For me, I think that that is a really good middle-of-the-road solution. I think it's perfect, and I would really love to see this in-game. For me, this is the perfect way to allow someone to easily reach top tier or enjoy the World War II content that they really want, especially considering that War Thunder has marketed itself as a sort of modern era simulator now. I think that it is more important to allow people to grind those higher tiers. Sure, maybe they can make it a little bit harder. Maybe that idea is pretty shit. Let me know in the comment section below, because I would like to help the community iron this stuff out. And having everyone iron it out with me is better than me just trying to think of solutions on my own. This is why I put these things out. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have suggested that. But at the same time, I think that there is merit to almost every single solution. By allowing people to get themselves a readily acquirable premium so that they can actually grind out every single tech tree in the game just by putting time into the servers, I think is beneficial for Gaijin, and it is beneficial for everyone. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. I sincerely hope you appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Am I an absolute fucking moron, or am I on the money here? Obviously, as well, down in the comments or in the description, you will find Air Models, which has partnered with the channel. If you would like some really high quality die-cast models, do go and have a look at that for me, and I would greatly appreciate it. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Take care, wash your hands, you bloody grubs, and I'll catch you next time.